going to start with the sound of the heartbeat to connect with the forest. And the sun has come.
And the sun has come. Oh, salute to the sun. Hello, beautiful souls. Namaste. We are very blessed today with that. Wow, sun.
It's beautiful.
And I'm so happy to call that she's gonna introduce herself to be part of that sharing of the series of medicine and medicine, actually medicine woman, medicine man. And she will also gonna share with us her personal journey, her journey of healing, of life on earth, and she's part of beautiful community here in Edinburgh. So I feel Edinburgh is very blessed to have you here.
Thank you.
And yes, so I would just, my love, if you could just introduce yourself. Who are you?
Well, who am I? Oh gosh, well, it's my honor to be here. Thank you. When Isa asked me to come and hold space jointly and share my journey, I immediately said yes. We were talking about this before, and I was saying that I just feel you have such a beautiful energy, and how being with people is something very powerful and special, but it's also something you have to feel that connection.
Indeed.
Otherwise it's not authentic and it's not real. So here we are in this beautiful forest.
And it
on this
happens
gorgeous
smoothly.
day. I know, I know. Oh, the universe was on our side. It is on our side.
It is.
Oh, so yes, my name is Corey and I am the face of Koa. And yes, I'm based in Edinburgh, and I guess I have a bit of an interesting journey. I currently am in a place where I'm so passionate about working with trauma and the body, the soma. That is where I have landed. And actually, when I think back to when I started my journey as a person and as a professional, I never thought I would land here. I remember first starting off doing my yoga teacher training, thinking I would just like to explore yoga a little bit more. I didn't think anything more of it. Then became a teacher, got into Reiki and lots of other things. And the more I did different courses and connected with people and connected with different ways of working with the body on a spiritual and physical level, the more I realized I want to try new things. And that's how I landed where I am now. And I guess that's the kind of practical stuff that I have done, and it's included yoga and sound and Reiki and somatic practitioner work and all of that. But most importantly has been my own journey, and I think that is actually the thing that I think is the essence of my work.
And can I ask you, because it's gonna sleep and we're gonna go there in a minute, you said about spiritual and physical levels. What does it mean to you? Like, what does it mean, spiritual levels? Because the spiritual is everywhere. It's
It's so true.
It's like, so I just like, well, it's like, it's also, I think it's important for us to understand, like, and name it. Because
Yes.
sometimes, and if you know, because sometimes I'm questioning and I'm asking, and what is physical actually, you know, and you as a somatic practitioner, and you know, you developing the working with the body, with trauma, with so deep in connection with the body, straight away to the body.
It's true, it's true.
So if you can just explain us more, and just from, we start very basic, because it's
Yes.
important to start with, I feel like.
I agree. I agree. You're so right, because it often gets misunderstood.
Yes.
And especially I think spirituality gets misunderstood because it's different for everyone, right?
Indeed.
Some people connect it to more like a religious thing. Others find it's a connection with nature or a trust in the universe. Some just think it's about energy generally. So I think you're right, it's so different. So for me, when I say spiritual for me, and it's just me, I have always felt connected with energy from a very young age. I remember even when I was younger, I would sometimes meet people and get like a feeling of I connect with them or I don't, or something doesn't feel right for me, or I don't know, just something. And it had a really big impact on me. And for a very long time, it almost felt overwhelming because I felt such strong energy connections with everything around me. And I was confused. I didn't understand what it was, especially when I was younger. I hadn't found myself. And so at times it could be really uncomfortable because I would maybe walk into a room and feel just physically, energetically overwhelmed. And that actually for me was a connection with my spiritual self, my deeper self, and the energy of everything around me. And as I've grown older, I've learned to surrender to it more, accept it more. And it's become a part of who I am. It becomes a part of every connection that I have with anyone. What I feel, it's like when I first met you. I remember I came to one of your beautiful sound journeys when you were doing them, and I instantly just felt a sense of safety, a sense of calm, a sense of alignment, and a sense of authenticity. And that's the thing. So for me, when I say spiritual, it's about working with everything around me, nature, people, every connection that I have. And that allows me to go to a deeper level within myself, because I can't really say it's about science or it's about facts or whatever. It's a feeling and it's a trust.
It's sensation,
It's a trust.
right?
It's sensation, yes.
And it cannot be logically explained.
No.
Sometimes verbalized.
Yeah.
Like name it. It's also
Yeah.
like some people have that gift and they can actually explain. But for me, I'm learning to verbalize things.
Yeah.
Like really, so because it's also important, but it's somehow like very merry. Sometimes you feel like
It's
you know, it's a bow.
true.
It's like what is this?
It's true. And people find it strange. Like they're like, oh, what kind of magic is this, you know? And I wish, like, I can't explain it. It's just something. And for me, it's also evolved into a very deep trust of that the universe has a plan for me, that I have to trust the process even in the difficult times, because life is not easy. And just having that faith and that spiritual connection to myself and the world around me, it's like it grounds me, it anchors me. It's a beautiful thing. I guess for some people that would be having a faith in God, for example, or something like that. But for me, it's a faith and trust that if I can keep connecting with that energy, it won't keep me, it won't put me on the wrong path. Yeah.
And what is beautiful that it's really non-judgmental. So
Yes.
whatever you choose, the path is right for you.
Yeah.
Just trust and follow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
to have that align with ourselves. And like, because often we listen others and stuff and we want to be this and that, and actually it's very confusing for our soul as well to
It
choose what
is.
is aligned with ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes I feel like maybe we're going to the places or we choose, maybe it feels like not, it's like it will be too judgmental if I would say not the right part of us, because maybe it was part of us but somehow it wasn't aligned. So we're gonna find through
Yeah.
experiences, yeah,
That's it.
another
That's it.
experience. And like, yeah, and even if we fell, even if it's an experience, it's an experience, beautiful
I agree.
and physical.
Yes, so that's I love how you asked that question, because there is, you're right, there's the spiritual side, the energy that underpins everything I do, my life, but then there's the physical. So when I think about the physical, for me, we're talking about the soma. So the soma is, in Greek, it's the body. And the body is, in some ways, it's such a complicated thing, and it can be overwhelming. But on the other hand, it's this magical vessel that should be our home. And there is so much research and science that I have learned during all my training that we know, especially when it comes to trauma, our body holds those emotions, and often they get blocked and they don't shift. And they have such an impact on everything we do. And that then has an impact on your nervous system. So we can be stuck in these states of threat and survival and overwhelm. And it blocks us from moving forward with our lives, from having healthy relationships, from loving ourselves unconditionally, from being able to navigate challenges that we have, whether it's family or friends or work or whatever. And that's what the physical is. That's our body, literally all our bones, our layers that we have of the body, our heart, our lungs, every organ. That is the body.
And this happening consciously and subconsciously, right?
Yes.
The memories, because we sometimes
Yes.
we know there was accidents. Actually, through my breath work, I know the people was telling me, and not only through the breath work, but many others, that they have the memories was coming through the breath, and was like a lot of challenging story of abuse or things that we don't want to remember.
Yes.
And suddenly then coming through that. Did you experience that also through somatic work? That is also happening, that the memories are returning to us, restoring, because we suppress them, because we
Yes.
are too afraid to I think it's part of the protection, right? It could be
Absolutely.
part of the protection.
You're spot on with that. I think we live in a world where we are, and I'm generalizing here, but we generally live in a world of there's a right and there's a wrong. There's a way you should behave and not behave. There's a way you should act and not act. And particularly as women, especially, there's so much pressure, right? In the old days, if you had a moment of excitement, it was hysteria. Now we know that actually it's just human and hormones and normal, and it's like this normal thing. And so because of that, we are constantly taught to behave, to not share, not be over emotional. You know, if you have a headache, take a Nurofen. You know, don't listen to your body. And because of that, you're so right. So when somebody is open to actually work with their soma, then of course you're going to start feeling. And that's going to bring up memories. It's going to bring up emotions. It can bring up painful things. It can bring up joy, though, as well. It can bring up everything, because all these emotions that we experience are important and valid. Anger, fear, joy, they're all important. And you're right, as soon as you tap into the body and come out of the mind, you feel, you really feel. So you're so right, it all comes out, which is why I think as professionals, and we've talked about this, it's really important that we hold safe and supportive spaces, because you don't know what somebody else has gone through.
Yeah,
Anything can come
indeed.
up. I'm sure you've experienced this as well, right?
Yes,
It's
of
so,
course.
yeah.
Sometimes it's like, yeah, it's it's like, so how it's like even when you hear somebody like sharing and you're appearing and it's big things, you know, and it's like, yeah, it need to come from the right space of unconditional love, right? It need to have that that base, otherwise we'll not be able, or actually acceptance for experience.
Yeah. Acceptance. Yeah.
Like, you know, because if you tell me, oh, you are too overwhelmed, how many times I heard from people telling me you are too overwhelmed, you are too much.
Oh, yes. I've heard this too.
You know, and then I feel like, so I need to be pretend for I am not.
Yeah.
And this is so against my will. And very often we give our will, we give our power away.
Yeah.
Just to survive, just to be, just to feel like loved and stuff like that, but still like, and very often it's like, oh, you need to love yourself, all of that statement, you know, but actually what that love means, if you never, or very, you don't know really what is your connection with yourself. It takes your lifetime, lifetime to actually get to that space and understand, on honor your body, on honor your faith. We carry a lot of stories, you know, people go
so
through many
much.
experiences and good and bad. It's not about it, because it's like, if you're coming through many traumatic stories, doesn't mean that something is wrong and you are a light and easy joyful soul. You are the right, you are actually, you are the light, and you know, you, how you doing that. I feel like we all have personal story, and there is a things why, and it's very easy to get into that trap, that you are better than me, you are worse than me, and we have that statement. Even me myself, I'm going there car and say like, I'm terrible. I know. I doing no. I'm wrong. And I know it's. I should already don't think that way, you know. But still is in my field,
Of course.
of believing of myself.
Yeah. And it's human.
Yes.
We all have this kind of primitive brain that is overcritical, that questions us, that doubts us. And then the world we live in society, and pressure and expectation and judgment. So of course we're going to do that. And like you already do, we have to keep questioning that and challenging that, so that we can be our most genuine self. And hopefully then have people in our lives that love us for that.
Indeed.
You know, and all the others, well, you know, they can just keep walking.
Yeah.
They can keep walking.
But also I found it like transition starts from ourselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we have that space, you know, and you will find your community, because more and more I can see they found the community in the nature, and I adore that, you know, because and it's okay also to have community as a nature or a star being or whatever. If it's truthful to you, that's okay.
Exactly.
And if you go into that, you know, a process of really learning to accept myself and love myself fully, without limits, without good and wrong, and it's a big work.
It's a big piece of work, and I think it never stops. It never stops. And I say this to, I think, everyone that I work with and my friends. I say the work will never stop. Once you start, you have to keep going.
So we're gonna go now. Like, how does it happen?
How does it happen?
How does it happen? Because it's like juicy
I know.
story. Like what like, you know, like, because like, tell us like, what was your story of healing a little bit? What is of course comfortable and align with you? Like, so how it's happened that, and then of course you was guided, you trusted, and suddenly you are becoming a. Who are you now?
Who am I now? I know, who am I now? So at the moment, I've kind of landed in a very weird title, and I'm still constantly working with it. So right now I am a trauma-informed, integrative, somatic, holistic practitioner. I feel like that covers everything. But basically,
And also
I
you are
just
a
work with
sound,
people.
and also you are a sound therapist.
I'm also sound, so I do sound. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a Reiki master. Oh, so many things. I'm a systemic coach. Because we're so individual, I really wanted to have like a toolkit so that when someone comes to me, for example, I can hold the space in whichever way they need. And I think that's why this all happened. And I don't think the learning will ever stop. I think I'll keep learning and growing. But as you said there, as you touched on, it also is about doing the work ourselves and our own healing journey. And that's how I guess I came into this particular area now, somatics and nervous system regulation and trauma. So in my day job, I work with trauma as well. So that anyway is where I can really work with individuals, which is wonderful. But in my business, Koa, it must be about two and a half years ago now, I had some surgery and had some major complications after the surgery. And for about 6 to 7 months, just felt physical pain and was completely disconnected to my body. I felt completely disconnected. For the first time in my life, I felt completely disconnected. And I felt low in mood. I felt energetically unbalanced. I just felt overwhelmed. And I remember one day thinking, I can't continue like this. I need to find a way to heal from this. I want to connect with my body again. And that's where I started really finding the somatic practices. And my way, my approach, and everyone's different, my approach was not to go to a therapist or anything, it was to study somatics. So I signed up for my first course. And I think at that time it was trauma-informed yoga with embodiment. And I did the course, and there I started just listening to my body more, understanding more how my nervous system was reacting. My body felt threatened, so it was trying to keep me safe. And as I started to do the work and start to do the practices and more mindfulness and movement and all these things, trauma started coming up. Past trauma, intergenerational trauma, memories, all that stuff started coming up that I'd been suppressing for so long. It started coming up, and that's where my journey really began. I suddenly had to sit with difficult things that had happened in my past that I was really starting to feel in my body strongly. I had to start to love myself again. I had to start to connect with myself again. I had to forgive myself and others. And the journey still continues, but that's where it began. And then I started doing more and more somatic courses because I got so excited about it. And here we are now, where I said at some point, I was like, I now want to share this with other people because it's so amazing. If you're open to it and you're ready, you can take back control. You can change your life. I've done it. And so that's where it all connected. Yeah, that's where it all connected. That's the story.
No, and that's why, I really admire you, because it's, I feel like, we spoke about this before, like what authentic mean, yeah? What does it mean authentic? And it can be very confusing, but I think like for me, it's like I need to be aligned with myself.
Yes.
And I feel like with you, it's like I really feel it, and I really I honor your journey, of
you.
healing, because I know how commitment, how does this much commitment with yourself. It's like to go to that places. And also like what is beautiful, it doesn't need to be shamanic, because people say, oh, like the past life stuff, there is also different tools, beautiful souls. So if you feel like it doesn't resonate, shamanic knowledge, look, because there is solution, and it's all like and you took that action, right? You knew that something is happening.
Exactly.
And you just trust it, and you make research, and you take another leap of faith. Like you take that, but you need to somehow. Sometimes it's come to us, but also there is time of action, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It was like the major point that we know that it's okay. It's time to do something about it.
Exactly, and that's where
Because
the choice
it's easy to get stuck.
That's
right?
it. Exactly. You can choose to stay stuck, and that can feel quite comfortable and whatever, and maybe even take on like a victim role, perhaps, or you can choose to make a change, and it's hard work. And you were talking there about the shamanic stuff. I am not a shaman in any way, but I know it can be so powerful. If I think back to experiences like when I remember your sound journey, and it was so unique. I'd never experienced anything like it, because I had this idea of what the sound was, and I came along, and I remember you started off kind of beautifully with the drum, and then at some point, I think the spirits were coming through. You were like making animal noises and everything, and I felt like I was taken to another place. And I came out of there feeling so like I felt shifts, I felt power, I felt a connection. It was so wonderful. And I've done other shamanic journeys with, like, I have a dear friend Giada. I did a shamanic journey with
Yes.
her, and I felt another beautiful shift and power. And I think shamanism is often misunderstood as well.
Yes,
Actually, it
please.
is all about working with the
Yes.
body and the spirit and the heart and connection and balance. That's what I think it is. And authenticity. It is that. That's what I see it as. There's a connection with everything around us, yourself. And it does, for me, it gives you a direct link to the body. It's so
Right.
powerful. That's been my experience.
Yeah, it can be. I think like we can experience in different way because there is different teachers and you
So
know
true.
and different approach. So I feel like it's very fascinating for me, you know. But also like how this world feels like they are not that far away from each other
I agree.
because it's like so it's fascinating, you know, to work with the breath because like you know the breath is our compass.
Yeah.
Because many of us that doesn't know how to breathe,
Oh,
right?
so
And I'm
true.
still learning the way I speak, and sometimes it's like people say,
Me too.
"Slow down, slow down." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I will slow down." Yeah, and it's like, yeah, so it's like and to find it into that body. Also, yesterday I have conversation with my friends, and we spoke about feeling. Peace within, like you know, yeah, like that peace.
Yeah.
And it feels like very easy, like you know, letting go and like peace, but really to embody that peace within whatever is happening, you know.
It's hard.
It's like
hard.
and I feel like it's also it comes to the trust, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you hear miracle stories that people heal themselves from very, they've been told they cannot walk, they've been told many things, they've been told and you know, and I don't want to say that because everyone has a different story and different path.
Absolutely.
But it's so for me that you know sharing is like when I hear the stories like they share and they
Yeah.
found a way or this was the way for this time. I don't know. It's really for me like when I hear about miracles, I want to understand, but it's something that I cannot understand because it's a mystical experience, right? Like shamans and all of that. There's a mystical, and we want to experience and know it. It's like give me a recipe.
It's true.
Give me a recipe. How
Everyone
I can
wants
feel
the magic recipe.
how I can feel myself, how I can free myself from the past
Yeah.
traumas, experiences, and all
There's
of
no
that.
perfect recipe. There's no perfect recipe. Yeah.
And what is my love like? Because it's so important to speak about it. Actually, what is there is any definition of trauma? Is there if there is any definition of trauma?
Absolutely. So there's lots of different definitions, but I would say trauma. So for me, trauma can be one or several moments in your life that you've experienced where it has put you in a state of threat and overwhelm. Something that has significantly impacted you, and that can be different for everyone. For some people it can be something small, for some people it can be something big. What's important to know is trauma, it's about how you feel when you experience that trauma, and we're all different.
It's also about responding.
Absolutely, how we respond to it. So if somebody experiences trauma and in that moment they are witnessed and seen and held and supported, it's very likely that they have still experienced trauma, but they're able to process it in a healthier way. If you are in a place where you experience trauma and you're not able to have those things, it has a huge impact on you. And this is where the emotions then get stored, the memories get stored in your body, and they can be with you for your entire life.
And it can be that it's happening trauma after one trauma, after another accident, after another accident, because the body can have no this fuel to release.
Absolutely. We can keep re-triggering ourselves with these trauma. You have people that spend their whole lives living in a traumatized state where they constantly feel unsafe, unsupported. It has that impact on everything around them and the connection with themselves. Like nervous system wise, you will have people that have panic attacks, you know, the heart is racing, tensions at night, maybe they tense up or they can't sleep. Some people will shake without even knowing why they're shaking. These are all responses, and it's the body holding that trauma. So trauma is a very individual experience, I think, which often gets misunderstood. And another thing with trauma is so many people feel like if you say you have trauma, it has to be this huge thing. You have to have experienced war or I don't know what. But actually, no. All trauma is worthy. All trauma is valid, however small or big.
And this is also coming to as humanity, humans, all human is value and important in this life, right?
Yes.
It's no matter because very often there is a we have that belief because you have this job, you have this, and the man and all of that, and it can be very also confusing. So many people that haven't been seen as a children or as a adults, they also hold that. I feel like and they feel like I am not worth it. Something is wrong with me, and we want to be very clear that this is a statement that is made, but it's not real. It's not authentic.
Exactly.
It feels that way because we are all right to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
We all, it's not that we doesn't own the earth. Earth is just a gift. I feel like that we are so given to have that privilege to live here in the body, in the feeling to feel, but we don't own.
No, we don't.
We just we come here to experience.
Yeah, we're a guest really on this planet. We're a guest.
So very often I say I feel like a passenger. I'm passing through, and also it's like how to free ourselves from attachment because as you experience and now you're experiencing, you can be many this lifetime. You can have many roles. You went through so much journey, and you're becoming. And who are you becoming? And you are becoming.
Who knows?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, we're constantly becoming. And I love that you brought that up because attachment is something that it's all part of us. Our life experiences as children in particular, how if we felt safe or didn't feel safe. And it does have such a strong impact then on how we see ourselves and our beliefs and our values. And as you quite rightly said, often it comes down to unworthiness or not feeling enough, things like that. But actually, that is only true if you make it true.
Exactly.
If you embody it. So it's important that we keep reminding ourselves, no, I am worthy. No, I am good enough. I am doing my best. No one is perfect.
And this needs to be very clear.
Yes.
Sometimes you are, maybe I'm still and it needs to be very clear,
We have a little dog near us.
Yes. You need to be very clear. So it's it's like take the breath and you need to believe it, what you're saying, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's like everyone talks about the new thing these days is manifestation.
Oh yes, please speak about it.
I'm a big believer that our words are power and our words are really important. But I also think that you could spend every moment of the day looking in the mirror going, I am beautiful, I am perfect. But if you don't feel it, if you don't really feel it, nothing will change. Nothing will change. It doesn't matter how much you tell yourself. And it's all about this kind of, if I manifest my perfect life, I will have the perfect life. No.
Perfect husband, perfect kids, perfect house, perfect car.
No, you have to.
Perfect holiday.
Yeah, exactly. No, you have to work for that. You have to do the inner work. You have to really have trust and faith. You have to be aligned with yourself. You have to believe it and embody it. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. This world is not easy. In the mindfulness context, we often talk about, and in compassion, I recently did my compassion training, and the reality is we all are in a world where we experience suffering. So let's not kid ourselves and say, you know what, I can suddenly manifest a perfect life, because life has all its challenges. It's all learning.
I love that you say about the compassion, because also it can be triggering one, because we are, as a sensitive being, we feel the pain and of the others, but how to not overwhelm yourself. That's why I'm listening. Sometimes I mention Pam Gregory, because she's really, she sent the love and healing compassion and said no negative feeling, emotion, because they're low vibrational. Because when you're supporting, so how it's tricky one, because sometimes you feel compassion, but somehow it feels like it can drain you.
Oh yeah.
And it's how to stay truthful, how to support somebody, feel the love and compassion, but not allow to, energetically to feel like it's taken from you.
Such a good question. So I think it's about boundaries. Boundaries are so important for ourselves and for others. So when we set boundaries, we're teaching other people how to treat us and how to be with us. And also when we work with our clients or groups, or even when we're with friends or family, compassion is often misunderstood. Compassion can
Yes.
sometimes be like sympathy, empathy, being kind. Actually, compassion can also be fierce boundaries.
Right.
These are my limits. I am being compassionate to myself by saying, I care about how you are feeling right now, and I am listening, and I really genuinely care, but also I'm protecting myself. There is a limit to what I can give energetically and emotionally. That is compassion.
And I feel like we are not looking at it. We don't know what is compassion. We are not being. Yeah, it's like I don't want to. We didn't teach or we didn't told, but we have
Yeah.
like a misunderstanding, because then you feel like, oh, you are selfish.
Exactly.
You are this and that, and it's
Exactly.
becoming like negative because you know it's not that, and it's very tricky. And then when you she's not my friend,
Yeah.
and then you know, and I've been doing that. I've been you know, I also in that way also reacted, you know, because people put the boundaries and I couldn't take it. Or
Yeah.
couldn't understand, so I said like, oh, something is like, oh yeah, you're not my, you know, all
It feels
this
like
game.
rejection sometimes. Yeah.
Is that the game of the mind? And so because
Yeah.
we don't know how to react, yeah,
Exactly.
and
You're so
how
right.
and how to support. So I think like it's very, we like that space and honoring ourselves as well, and give our space and allowing ourselves actually how we feel.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's about self-respect, isn't it? And holding our own space for ourselves.
And it's also
Isn't it?
related, yeah, exactly, totally. When you said like that compassion, you know, when you hold the space for others, you need to be very the boundaries. Sometimes it feels like you need to keep watching the space all the time.
Yeah, you do. And it's very
If
important.
the group work, especially, right?
Of course.
It's like how to keep the balance, and you know, it's like it's a constant to be aware, and like, okay,
Yeah, you're right. Because you need to be really, I believe, if you're authentic, you need to be in the room with the people, especially if it's a group setting. You need to be aware of how it's impacting you and what's happening for you, but also have those boundaries in place so that you can create a safe container, a safe enough container, a supportive space. Because if you are in the space and you just open yourself up to a point where it's not safe anymore, then you become vulnerable, dysregulated, and that doesn't help anyone. And that's compassion. You're being compassionate to yourself. It doesn't mean you don't care, but you're not losing yourself. You know, it's not because, like, let's say you shared with me you were like a problem.
yes,
And I sat here and I completely lost myself and I'm crying and I'm like, oh God, it's awful. And I'm not helping you. I'm not. And I'm not actually being
Yes.
compassionate. I'm overwhelmed. I'm
And
just giving
also,
sympathy.
and how, what do you think about giving advice to other people? Because it's a big one, right?
It's a big one.
And I found it like many often I am getting advice, but I am not ready. My body even not able to digest because I'm so traumatized to survive, or so I'm like, you know, very in very vulnerable state myself. And people give me and I feel like I'm taking against
Yeah.
Cory. Like, you know, it's no
so
space
get it.
here. Like, you know,
I so get it.
and many people like they don't even know knowledge. They not even understand that actually. Oh, I just need just be with me.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up. So there's a few things. So one thing we know from research is that if somebody is in a state of where they are literally in that healing process and their body and nervous system is still feeling quite threatened and they're still in survival, we know that there's parts of the brain that are sending all the hormones and energy and everything else to the nervous system to keep you alive for survival. So there is no way you're thinking logically. So if you get advice, it's just too much. It's not helpful. You just need to be held and heard and witnessed in that moment. So there's that side. The other side is that advice is really subjective. So I could sit here and go, in my view, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. But that's assuming, it's judging, and it's not empowering, I don't think. So I think there's moments where you could say, like, I quite like to, and I'm not perfect at this. Sometimes I fall into advice as well,
Yes,
especially with
yes.
family. But I think if we can, it's helpful to maybe attune yourself with the person, if it's someone especially that you care about, and maybe say, you know what, have you thought about trying this? Or would this be helpful? Or can we try this together? Rather than, you know what, you should be doing this, 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 and this. Or why aren't you doing this? So that's what I think about advice. I
And the
think we have to
body
be careful.
also respond differently. Yeah,
Oh,
it's like work
completely.
is an invitation. than the statement, right?
Yes.
And I should is very dangerous word.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Sometimes it's very clear and we should do something.
Sometimes, yes.
It is true, like, you know, it's not the bad, I feel like, but sometimes it can be very too much.
Yes. I know.
Ah,
It's fascinating. And you know, this is what comes like, so I have really dedicated my professional and my personal self to trauma-informed practice. And trauma-informed practice is all about empowerment, collaboration, non-judgment, and also thinking about the language that you use and the way you act so that it's invitational. And it's something I've become quite almost addicted to. Like, you know, I really try, especially when I'm holding space for people, to use those words like, I invite you to, you may want to, you can stop at any time. Because I don't know about you, but I've been, especially if I think of the yoga world, I used to go to yoga class where it was like, okay, take a breath in now, take a breath out, do this, put your foot here, do
there's
this.
no space of actually digestion.
No.
It's like a very like switch in and switch off.
Yes. And then you're not in your body.
No.
You're in your head.
No,
So nothing is shifting.
No.
So it comes back to that, really. It brings it all together. It's really important.
And you know, and I'm glad that you said that again, because you've been sharing on social media your practices, right?
Yeah.
You're doing like them daily, every
That's
day.
right. That's right.
Different kind of challenge.
Yes,
yeah?
exactly. Different challenges. So I just did a 60-day move and shake challenge because I had so many people saying, I never have time to move, but I need to move more. And I was hoping if I did it, people would do it more. And then now it's I'm on day 4 of my nervous system and somatic challenge, sharing resources every day for people to try and use.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it's like I need to look at it because so you just basically more sharing your resources.
Yes, so exactly. So I try and share a different practice each day. Or maybe like at the moment I'm sharing practices, but maybe one days I'll share like maybe a bit of theory or some research.
This
so
is
that
what
people
I
feel empowered. Yeah, exactly.
That I really will be grateful, Corey, if you do it. That like, you know, like also verbalize things, and maybe also like if you have any links or any, you know, teachers or any, you know, things that can be useful for us.
Exactly.
Because it's like sharing. It's like very often, you know, we are afraid to share because we feel like there's another, she will gonna take something from me, or she will, you know what I mean?
know.
Like it's like competition and stuff, and it's not about
No,
it.
it's not.
It's about there is abundance for everyone.
I
in that
agree.
field, and we attract different people. So let's not forget, if you're afraid of sharing, there is nothing to be afraid of it.
And again, this is where you have to trust, right?
Aha.
So you're absolutely right. If I share everything, of course someone could go and copy everything I do. Of course they could. They could, why not? But I trust that actually I am staying true to myself, and I'm a big believer that I want to share all of this with others. I want others to feel empowered. And if people want to abuse that, that is their that's their choice, and that's their journey. But I'm still going to do it. I think you're right. We have to share. We have to empower each other and help each other. It's not, yeah.
Koa, if you would like to also share more, I'm like, because I'm watching the time,
I
it's like,
know.
oh gosh,
We've got so much to talk about. Oh my gosh.
That I'm like, you know, so let's share a little bit more about what is somatic practice again. Like it's and how it's about directly to working with trauma, or also it's cover like it's cover different.
Yeah. So somatic work, a lot of people use it differently. In my particular area, I use the somatic work to work with trauma because we know that coming directly into the body and working with the nervous system, that helps the most with trauma. Like new research is telling us that talking therapies are wonderful, but they don't create as much shifts because the emotion is in the body. So this is where the somatic practice is generally used with trauma. So Peter Levine created somatic experiencing, for example. That is one that most people know, where there is different techniques and practices that are used to support a person who's experienced trauma to feel shifts and movements and build new resources to process that. But there's so many different types of somatic work. So the trainings that I've done, I've trained with people like Bessel van der Kolk and Peter Levine and Ariel Schwartz. These are kind of the bigger names in this field, and they all approach it in different ways. Some approach it through yoga and breath work, but very focused on, again, creating safety in the body. It's all about creating more resilience and safety. That's what it is. Others will approach it with kind of more meditation and mindfulness and breath work. Then you have the very specific practices that you can use. Like Peter Levine came up with somatic experiencing, there's very specific practices that we know work really well, like self-touch or shaking is a great one, or grounding ourselves through the feet. But when it comes to somatic work, it's actually all about working with the nervous system and creating safety. That's what it is,
And
really.
you know, it's very interesting because what is coming to me sometimes I keep saying I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and this, but actually deeply inside we do know what
We
our
do.
body needs
Absolutely.
and what the tools we needed. But we've been saying I don't know because it's like mantra. I don't know, I don't know. It's I'm
Yes.
lost, I'm lost, I'm lost. It's like
Yes.
shh.
Yes.
It's like, and you need to just sometimes like have like stop, like this big gong,
Completely.
like you know something like shh,
Yeah. Completely.
like snap on your face. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it, like you exactly know what you know.
Exactly. Your body has all the answers. If you're willing to listen, your body has all the answers. And the amount of clients I work with, it's so interesting when I start sharing practices with them and they say to me, I've been doing that. I've done that before. Like humming. Humming is another wonderful one. You create your own vibration. So it's an energetic side, but also it soothes and calms the nervous system. It's amazing. It stimulates the vagus nerve, you know, things like that. Like there's so much science behind it. But yeah, it's so powerful. And I think the one big thing to be aware of is when we think about somatic work and nervous system regulation, the biggest thing is that when you're working with someone, you want to first of all start with a basis of them feeling safe enough and having trust so that their body can start to experience things. That's the first step, and that takes a lot of time to build that basis. And then you start bringing in the practices and then thinking about if somebody is in a state where they are, I call it hyper aroused, where they're constantly overwhelmed, too much energy, restless, can't stop, then they need to ground themselves. And when they're in a state of hyper aroused, I call it, where they're shut down, freeze, can't leave the house, overwhelmed, then you need to move. Then you need to move. So there's different practices for different things. Yeah.
And you know, because many of us doesn't feel safe in our body. This is the basic, and I believe so.
know.
This is our home. Like truly, it's like you know, and we have that disconnection.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so
So
true.
if we don't feel like we're safe in our body,
Yeah.
how we can feel
Exactly.
safe here on earth?
Exactly.
We will be threatened, especially now. You know, it's overwhelming. It's a big mental health. It's a big one that people going through.
No.
And you know, and if you feel it. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you.
No.
Let's be clear.
No.
Because it's very overwhelming.
Yes.
Energetically, you know, if we are sense energies, there's earthly, there's fires, and it's, you know, and there is grief happening because many people losing everything.
Yeah.
And you know, and there is a beauty as well. There is so much beauty. Like today, we are so much blessed with the sun,
I know.
with the nature, you know, and we live that in that contrast. I believe so. So how to bring into that balance, right?
That's the key thing.
And,
Balance.
and also not to give our power away because you know
yes.
tragedies are happening, but this is not your tragedy. Let's be clear about it.
Yes.
Let's send love, compassion.
Yes.
Let's support it.
Yes.
But please, like, also put the boundaries. This is not your tragedy, right?
Boundaries are key. Boundaries are key for us to feel
Because
as
when
safe
you
as
watch
we can.
TV, when you put TV on,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Social
War,
media.
politics, everything. I know. So we have to protect our energy and our space. But you're so right. Most people don't feel safe in their bodies because actually, especially in the Western culture, we're in a culture where we're not encouraged to really listen to our bodies. If you think of even just the education system, no one talks to you about that. You know. So how are you meant to even feel any safety? And that's what you need. That's where the healing takes place, really. That's where the healing takes place. Once you start accepting and surrendering to everything that you feel and everything that's going on for you.
and my love, this is very simple.
No, it's so simple. It's so
But
simple.
we overcomplicate it, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And you can do it also on your own.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Of course, there are stages that you need support.
I was
and
gonna
it's
say,
natural.
I agree.
It's and you know, and if some work you need to have somebody that is true that holds space for you, so you can release.
Yeah.
You can release because you are safe and protected, and you are heard, and you are a witness,
Exactly.
and you are also receiving tools and guidance. So this is natural process, beautiful soul. So if you feel
Yeah.
like you need help, don't be afraid to reach out.
Absolutely. I think you're so right. There's going to be points where it's important to have someone hold the space for you so that you have that co-regulation and that connection. But there will also be, like, I know for me, any clients I've worked with or any people who've been on my courses, my aim is to give them a toolkit so they can go
Yes.
away and do it themselves. But first they need to explore it in a space where it feels safe enough. Yeah, you're so right. And I think if you're feeling like you need support, I agree with you, make that first step. Get that help. Get that help. Let's normalize that mental health is a real thing, that trauma
It's
is a real
normal.
thing. We all have it. We don't talk about it enough, and it's so important.
Because it's a shame, you know. It's now maybe no, but with the culture I'm coming from, I was born in Poland in 1982. You know, it was big things.
Yeah.
You know, having and you know, it's something wrong. So you have mental problem. You know,
Yeah, of
you have this
course.
and that. Now, like here is normal, and people like take advantage sometimes. I feel like of mental health. This is another thing that I think like, you know, we are not doing the work that we meant to do
Yeah.
on ourselves. So we pity self. We are victims,
Yes,
right, of our
yes.
stories, and this is not where we want to go. And this
No.
is not where true healing is happening, because it's all about empowering.
Yes.
Because you know,
100%.
you feel stronger. You feel like I can do it. You know,
Yeah.
and it makes you feel good.
It does. And that's the key thing. You're so right. We can choose what we want to embody. You can be a victim your entire life and actually just go through that and be constantly dysregulated and overwhelmed. Or you can be a survivor. You know,
Yes.
you can be stronger within yourself and make changes. And it's not easy. We've talked about this. It is hard
No.
work. Let's just say this, okay? Put it out there. Don't think this is easy. This is really
No,
hard
it's
work.
not.
It is
It's
such
not.
hard work.
It's not the sweet piece of chocolate, but you know, but there is like different flavor with it, and this is
Yeah.
like. Each time, you know, when I'm going to that place, it's like I'm very grateful, but you know, it's like to find that courage within. Yeah,
I agree. It is courage. It is
It's
courage.
really, and it can be very misunderstood because we might be very. Oh, the skin is open,
Yeah,
like the onion. We cut the onion. That's it.
it's true.
And there's nowhere to escape because we are
true.
facing this so visible Cora,
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever you're doing,
so true.
medicine, you know, ayahuasca, people doing it's okay, but if you don't embody,
Yeah.
if you're not, you know, you can go to any ayahuasca to plant medicine, beautiful souls, you can go to anything, but if you don't embody,
Yeah.
and if it's not like the other one is that it's not happening in that work is Cory, maybe you will help me. What is the word? It need to be embodied, but also it need to integrate it.
Integrated. Yes, absolutely.
Because without you can take anything,
Absolutely.
but without integration,
Oh,
the shift will it will gonna be stuck where it is stuck.
100%.
And what if from somatic point? What is the integration, or from your understanding?
yeah, from a somatic point of view. So, as I kind of said, you start off first of all about stabilization and safety. That's really important. And then maybe some processing through what's gone for you, which doesn't need to be you telling the deep, dark secrets and details of your trauma. It's actually more about the feeling, the sensations coming to the body. And then, as you say, there's the integration. So for me, integration is when you get to that point where you have worked out maybe not all the answers, but some of the things that work for you so that you can regulate more day to day, whether it's breath work, movement, grounding, whatever it else, and you truly integrate it into your day-to-day life.
So it's practice, daily
It's practice.
down to earth.
Absolutely practice, and also that compassion, self-compassion, and that balance. You feel it. Integration, I think, is something you feel.
Totally.
You feel it. It's not about I am integrated. You feel it. You feel like I have more stillness. I have more
Yes,
balance. I can cope with things more. That's integration. And that's where it's quite magical. And then you have to keep working on that, of course. But yeah, that's integration, I think. That's integration.
So for you, like from the daily basis practice, how do you? Because you're working, you know, you have daily job, you're doing so many offerings, you study, you're doing courses. It's like, for me, it's like wow, and you know, and like, so how do you take it? Like, because let's be honest, like it's like the integration is like we have like recipe, but without following the recipe, everything will fall apart again,
that's so
right?
true.
We will come back to the self-pity, victim, whatever, you know, it's gonna come, and we're gonna keep come back to toxic relationship.
Yeah.
We're gonna create
Yep.
toxic environment. Everything is like. It's there is no magic. Like there
No.
is magic, but you know, it's that without work, without commitment,
Yeah.
without that clearness
Yeah. You're
and
so
choice
right.
and choice. You know, there's
Choice.
many different. Yeah. So how you, like, what is your thing
What do
that
I
you're
do?
doing?
Yeah. So I think it is a commitment and a dedication to investing in yourself. That's what it's about. We're showing up for yourself. So for me,
Showing up for
show
myself.
up for yourself. I know, but
Yeah.
it's true. Show up for yourself, not anyone else, but for yourself. Invest in yourself. So for me, I start every morning with a somatic check-in. When I wake up, I lie in bed and I usually place a hand on my belly and my
So let's
and my heart.
maybe when we are here, let's do
Shall I
something.
guide one?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
let's do it. Okay.
We have like
I love it. Okay, so for if you're watching, you can do what is right for you. If this doesn't feel right, just listen, okay? But you can do this seated or lying down. Eyes can be open or closed. It's completely up to you. And know that you can stop at any point. So you may wish to place a hand on the belly and the heart space or chest, or maybe just one hand on the heart. You choose, maybe no hands at all. And just take a moment, first of all, just to connect with the body. And notice how it feels to have your hands placed on the body if they are there. If you don't have your hands placed, just noticing how you feel in this present moment. And a reminder to just keep breathing in any way that is right for you. Just connecting with yourself. Just noticing, trying not to judge. And I'm going to guide you through a short body scan. We're going to move from the feet all the way to the top of the head, just noticing maybe any sensations or heaviness or lightness, tension or release, without judgment, just noticing. So we start with the sole of the left and right foot. And allow your awareness to move around your feet, left and right, the top of the foot, the ankle, the toes. You may even wish to move the toes. Just noticing, not judging. And if you find that your mind wanders, just try to keep coming back to the body. And then we move our awareness from the feet up the legs, past the calves and the kneecaps, all the way up the thighs until you get to the lower back. And just pause there for a moment, just noticing. And a reminder to just keep breathing. And then we come to the front of the body, coming to the belly and moving up to the chest, coming to the shoulders, again pausing here, noticing any tension or release, heaviness or lightness, perhaps a sense of stillness or unsettlement. Keeping breathing. And now shifting your awareness to the back of the body, back to the base of that spine. Now moving up the back, either through the spine or the lower, middle, and upper back until you come to the shoulders. Again, pausing here. And then from the shoulders, left and right, in your own time, allow your attention to move down the arms, down past the elbow to the wrist, to the palm of the hand, top of the hand, and the fingers, maybe even taking some movement. Do what's right for you, just noticing. Again, a reminder, keep breathing, everyone. Now we come back to those shoulders, moving from the shoulders up the neck and throat to the head, and taking in all parts of your head, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your ears, every hair on your head. Again, just noticing and acknowledging as well that sometimes for people coming into the body can be difficult. So do what's right for you. Stop at any point. Keep breathing. And now there's an option. It's completely optional to take maybe a deeper breath in and a few sighs out. Maybe take a few of those if that feels okay. You know, when we sigh out, we release, we let go. And then now, last of all, just asking yourself a very important question. What do I need in this present moment? What do I need in this present moment? Do I need movement or relaxation? Maybe I even just need a hot shower or a walk. What do I need? Exactly.
Exciting.
There we go. And then at that point, you then hopefully move into whatever you need. So in the morning.
So that's create a container and space to receive.
Yes, and also to really listen and think, what do I need?
Exactly.
Because every moment, the thing that matters is the present moment. So you want to think about, what do I need? And like for me, sometimes I'll then just get up and start shaking or moving or play a song.
Each time can be different.
Each time can be different.
And this is the magic.
Each time. And for those that are interested in this practice, there is a recording on my YouTube channel. You can just go and access that and listen to that.
Definitely, my love. I will gonna post it here, and I will gonna share all the magic, juicy stuff, because and it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. And I think just one thing to be aware of, again, only do what is safe enough for you. If you feel coming into the body is too much, then a body scan is not a great thing. If you feel you're unsettled, again, don't do it. And know you can always stop anything at any point. That's really important.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Please, thank you for saying that, because it's so important.
Yeah, never just push through. Everyone talks about pushing through.
No.
Don't push through. Don't push through.
Pushing it happen itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Flashing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just
toilet.
relax. Exactly. Just relax. No pushing. No pushing through.
Oh my love, because we are running so much with time, and I love it, and I could share it so much. It's like so important topic that you're talking about. It is so fascinating. So the last one that I'm asking, what is for you to be a medicine woman, and what is your connection with medicine woman?
Oh.
How do you feel that?
Gosh, medicine woman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. What do you understand by medicine woman before I say anything?
For me it's like also very pretty much, because I believe so that we all carry so much wisdom and so much beauty within ourselves, and we all are actually, each of us has medicine within ourselves. For me it's like, what is my gifts, for example, like stuff like that, and what is like a medicine can be like, and also can be the food that I eat, what is supporting me on that journey of healing, So for me it's nature, always is nature, like Pachamama, everything. I cannot I will not survive, I will not be here because of Pachamama, so for me it's like the deep connection with the Mother Earth, and it's like deep story. So for me it's like, and that and in that the wideness that is inside of me that want to be expressed, that
have crazy moments.
I have like a lot of crazy moments, but they make me feel alive. So it's like, and also like to learn more through my traumatic experience with myself, how I can bring to shine, to bring to the unity. So it's a lot of layers, but also like for me, working with the voice, the sound is very connected, because it's like self-expression.
It
So
is.
for me, the medicine woman, I want to be expressed, because it's my natural needs, and not everyone might not have the needs, but I will not pretend that is not, because I like to.
Yes.
So it's like there's nothing to be pretend, So yeah, so there is like many different layers. But when you hear like, when I see like this medicine woman, of course I see this woman that's smudging and doing the circles, and singing. It's like so shamanic. So, but now, like or like they're so embodied.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no fakeness.
No.
Aha.
Yes, I love that.
And I like earthiness, and also it's like for me, it's also need to be ground to earth. That's what I love that you share, because they are very practical things. Let's be honest, there is no magic.
No.
Magic is like in practice.
Yeah.
And make this like, I'm doing it, and I love it that there is like let's go straight to the point.
Yes, exactly.
Aha.
I think that is the key.
And and like, so for you, like if you think about yourself, about medicine woman, what does it?
That's such a good question. So for me also, nature is where I feel most grounded, more connected. I love being out in nature. Like even just here, it's been so beautiful being in this space with the birds and the little bugs and everything in the ground. So yeah, nature is very important to me. I think the biggest thing though that gives me the most energy and the most power is connecting with people. For me, like, I find I could have never dreamed that I would now be in a place where I can do this work with people, and it feels like my life's work. It feels like my purpose, and it just gives me so much, just connecting with others and seeing other people grow strong and empowered. That gives me so much energy. And there was maybe a time in my life when I was younger where it was more like an ego thing. Where it's like, oh, I feel good because I've helped someone, and now it's not. It's like an energetic thing.
I've been there,
right?
and you can see the shift.
It's human, right? I know.
Boom.
And we shift, and now it's more about a joy, a genuine joy. And I guess I'm finding a place where I feel I'm still working on myself. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I feel I'm probably the most aligned and authentic I've been most of my life so far.
Amazing.
And I think that's what gives me. And I can do like you. I love to do it with the sound, drumming, expressing. That's such a beautiful, fun,
movement,
joyful thing. And movement. I love movement. Movement is part of every part of my day. I love movement.
But also, I know you love the words poetry as well.
I
like
do love
everything is like,
poetry.
feels like. It's like, and we are so blessed because the things are accessible.
Absolutely.
You can go to library, we have
it's everywhere.
choices.
Exactly.
So if you feel like it's something impossible, or you have, the limitness of the money, there is a lot of resources.
Yeah, I agree.
That
There's so much out there if you want to look. Exactly. But I think it is about, joy. And it's interesting, like every year I try and pick a word that feels right for my year. And last year I had surrender, and this year is balance. And I think it is about that balance. It's like you described, medicine woman, it's so many different parts, but probably balance is the key. I want to find balance.
Because it's on many different layers, on
so many.
like mental, physical, and like exactly bring it into the balance and embody it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Really
integrate.
feel it and integrate it. Really live it. Live it. Morning till night, live it.
And every one of us can be that medicine and can share. It's happening through sharing, right? That's why we love to connect.
I know, it's
right?
wonderful. Yeah, exactly.
So,
to share. So that's what I think. Yeah.
I am so blessed and so grateful, Corey, for your response. Yes.
Yeah.
Big yes.
Absolutely. Big yes. Big yes. Big yes.
And was this so important for all of us? The sharing, it was very juicy, and I'm like, I'm very excited. And it was like, it's magnificent timing and everything. I will share Corey sharing here and on social media as well.
Wonderful.
And you can find her, and she will. I'm sure she will gonna reach to you in her right timing and space. And anything you would like to finish with?
Oh gosh, just this life is a journey, and if we are open to it, it can be such a gift. So try and grab it with both hands and a big heart, and know that it's constant work. Keep growing. Keep growing.
And even the most tragedy, the painful story can transform, right?
Oh, it can be such. It may not feel like it, but it will be a gift if you accept it.
Yes.
Absolutely, because you learn so much from the hard times.
Beautiful souls, you have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice. I love that. So true. You have a choice. Yeah, even if it doesn't feel like it, you have a
feel
choice.
Like that. Exactly. So like, ooh, the loud is like, ooh.
I know.
So yes, so thank you so much.
It's been so wonderful.
Yes, my love, and I'm really blessed to witnessing your journey, and I know how much you're doing, and I know I can feel it that it's aligned with you, and it's very authentic, and it's coming from sources that are based on non-egoistic approach.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah,
I
we try. Of course, the ego is always
it's always
us.
there. I
It's
know.
always there, so we can just witness, but actually observing that and actually acknowledgement, right?
Yeah, you're so right.
Because this is gonna happen, and we're gonna be triggered, and we have
completely.
many names, and many things, but we have an acknowledgement that we can see. Oh, actually, I'm not going the right direction. I am triggered. I am this. So it's okay. It's totally okay.
It's that awareness. You're so
That
right.
awareness, right?
Acknowledgement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for joining us in our little space in the middle of
Yeah,
the forest.
boozy.
It's so
And
wonderful.
it was been long one, so thank you so
I
much. If
know.
you decided to watch till the end,
Oh, yes, thank you. Please do watch till the end.
we should say that at the beginning.
We should have said that
Please
at the
watch to the end. Lots of love, lots of light. Aho.
Oh, thank you everyone. Oh,
Bless
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, that was so wonderful.